Peace. I trust you're healthy and well. My name is Maurice, aka DJ Crop, but we're going to keep it Maurice in this space. And welcome to day 6 of One Nation Daily, episode 6 of One Nation Daily, which is a 30-day challenge for me to show up here and speak about a different topic each day. All right. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, please feel free to check them out. Please check them out in the playlist on the channel entitled One Nation Daily. As I said, we're on day 6 now. Previous episodes, you'll find reviews in there. You'll find how-tos, tips that I share on how to get good sound, on how to choose the right DJ, how to choose the right venue, things of that nature. All right, so lots of good stuff in the first 5 episodes. Please check them out. Today, day 6, I want to talk about my approach that I use or that I take to doing DJ gigs. All right, what is my approach that I take when I'm approaching a DJ gig? Is there a process that I use? How do I sort my music? Do I sort it in advance? Do I not? Do I just do it on the fly? How do I approach DJ gigs? So that's what I want to talk about today. And at the end, I'll share a few tips for new and up and coming DJs as well. All right. So my approach, this is my personal approach to DJ gigs. Okay. The first thing for me to say is that I get extremely anxious, believe it or not, before every single gig that I do. Very nervous. I suffer from that before every gig that I do. Now, I haven't told a lot of people this, and the very few people that I have told, they're very surprised to hear this, and they say things like, oh, you've been doing this for so long and you're really good and you know what you're doing and you seem so confident when you're up there doing your thing. And I get all of that. That's what people see. And yes, I have been doing this for a long time. Yes, I do know what I'm doing and I think I am pretty good at what I do, but it's not about my own abilities. My anxiety is not really about my abilities. It's more about the unknown elements that can go wrong on a night or at an event, particularly with regards to the sound. Because guaranteed, if something or anything goes wrong, technically or with the music or whatever, whether it's your fault or not, whether it's within your realm of control or not, guaranteed something goes wrong with the sound or the music, everyone in the room is going to be looking at the DJ. And guaranteed at least one person in the room will shout out, DJ. So these are the reasons why I get anxiety before every event. It's the unknown variables that can happen that are totally outside of your control. Even if you approach a gig with the most preparation, the best preparation in the world, there's still a list of things that can go wrong. And like I said, if anything goes wrong with the music, everyone is going to look to the DJ. Whether it's down to you or not, everyone's going to look at you as if you're responsible and going to be expecting you to fix it or do something about it. All right. So I do get anxiety before every gig. That being said, as part of that process, there are 2 things I will usually do before I start playing at an event, particularly an event, public or private, when I'm about to DJ. One is go to the loo. Always make sure you go to the loo. No one wants to be caught out desperate to go to the loo in the middle of a DJ set and have to leave a really long tune playing or a really long mix and run off and go and find the toilet. So always go to the loo just before I'm about to start playing. And the second thing I do before I start playing is I try and find myself a little quiet space in the venue. And sometimes that might actually be the loo or somewhere else. Just try and find myself a quiet private space and just have a little med, a little prayer, and just seek guidance to emerge from that event and that night feeling that I did well, feeling victorious, for everyone in the place to also emerge from that venue happy with my performance, and for everyone who's there to get home safely. So I usually just find a little quiet space and just hold a little prayer or a little meds, or some might call it burning out the crosses for the night. But I try and find a little space, a little corner, just have a little moment, and then I'll go on and do my thing. So that's part of my process. to doing DJ gigs. There are some variations about how I approach gigs depending on certain variables. For example, whether I'm doing a DJ set by myself and it's just me playing the event or the night, or whether I'm going to be working with other DJs. So let's break that down to begin with. So if I'm doing a set alone, just me playing on the night, some situations I might prepare a set of my music in advance, and other situations I might not. So some of the situations where I might prepare my set in advance. Situations where I would do this would be if I'm doing a vinyl set, if I'm playing all vinyl. You see, I've got all of my vinyl behind me and I really like to still play my vinyl. If I'm doing an all vinyl set, then more than likely I will plan and prepare that set in advance, because I am much more limited in the amount of music that I can bring. I can't carry all of these records with me to any venue, all right? And so me doing a vinyl set means that I'm going to be carrying one, maybe two boxes or bags of music. I don't like to travel with more than two bags or boxes of music if I'm going to do a vinyl set. My back just can't manage anymore. So no more than two boxes or bags of records, which means I'm limited to records in the numbers of hundreds, a couple of hundreds, or maybe a few hundreds, as opposed to tens of thousands that are on my laptop, or hundreds of thousands, that are on my laptop. So I'm very limited in how much I can bring. So I have to put more thought into what I'm going to bring when I'm doing an all vinyl set. So that's one where I'll probably prepare my set in advance, because I'll be limited in what I can carry and bring. Another one is if I'm doing a specialist tribute set, say for example to a particular artist or group, then something like that I will most likely prepare my set in advance, because you're trying to tell a story there, or I would be trying to tell a story about that artist or that group. I might try to play things chronologically and show the chronology of the artist's career and their music development and production, or I might try and show all the different musical influences that went into their music. I do things like, if I'm going to do quite often I get booked to do Jay Dilla tribute sets. And I like to take people on the musical journey of all things Dilla related. So something like that I will prepare in advance. I won't normally just turn up, even though I can, because Jay Dilla is one of my favorite artists and producers. So I think I have Jay Dilla's entire discography. So I could do that, but I prefer to prepare something and take the listeners on a journey. So if I'm doing a tribute set, something like that, then I tend to prepare that in advance and not just do it on the fly. Another one is if I'm booked to do weddings or private events, milestone birthdays. I'll usually spend a good amount of time conversing or communicating with whoever has booked me, whether it's the bride or the groom or the birthday person, or even if it's someone's funeral and I'm going to be representing someone's life through the music. If it's a private event like that, I'll usually spend a good amount of time communicating with whoever's booked me to get a very clear sense of the type of music that they want to hear at this event or this celebration, and make sure they hear what they want to hear. All right. So for that, I might put more thought and energy into what I'm preparing in advance. However, I will still leave room for creativity and spontaneity, and to respond to whatever is happening with the people in front of me in the room that I'm playing in. So there'll be an element of preparation for things like this, but also I always leave room for dealing with what's happening in the moment. Okay. So a degree of preparation for those. For places where I'm not going to prepare a set in advance. That's more for, say, for example, situations like my residency or residencies. Those places are places where I've been playing there for a while now, and I know the layout of the land, I know the venue, I know the sound system, I know the demographic of the people that go there. I know the kind of music that they like. I know the kind of thing that they want to hear. I know where I can go and where I can't go musically. So for those kind of situations, I tend to not prepare because I don't really need to, because I've been playing there for a while and I know the people that go there. I know what they want, I know what they're about. So I don't necessarily need to prepare for those kind of situations, and so I usually don't. My personal live streams that I do, my personal DJ live streams that I do on Twitch and Mixcloud every week, I do those pretty much every Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time on Twitch and Mixcloud, and usually 7 p.m. on Wednesdays on Twitch and Mixcloud as part of the IOSL Hip Hop Raid Train on Twitch. Those personal live streams, again, I tend to not really prepare for those because those are situations where I am totally free to play whatever I want to play in the moment. Especially my Tuesday live stream, that really is about me playing whatever I'm feeling in that moment. Whatever I'm feeling to play on that particular day or in that moment is what I'll play. So I won't prepare those at all. The only tune that I know that I'm going to play for those live streams is my first. I only know the first tune, and usually that's a tune that's just been ringing in my head throughout the day, and I'll just be like, I really want to play this tune today, and so I'll start my stream with that. The rest, the rest is a journey. I have no idea where we'll end up, and so myself and the listeners, we go on that journey together. So personal live streams and things like that, I don't prepare because it's more about playing from the heart and playing in the moment. So those are some of the differences or different situations or scenarios where I will prepare my music, or I will prepare a set in advance, or where I won't prepare a set in advance. Sets with other DJs. If I'm going to be DJing with other DJs, one of the things I like to do is make sure that I arrive early so that I can listen, first of all, to what the other DJ or DJs have played before me, to make sure that I don't play over tunes. That's not cool to me, playing over tunes that have already been played. So I get there early to try and listen and make sure I don't play anything back. And also so that I can witness and observe and experience the whole ebb and flow of the evening or the event, day or evening, the whole ebb and flow of the event, so that will inform how I choose to step up when it's my time to play. For example, if all the DJs before me have been very good in playing soul and R&B, and that's all they've played, then I might see that and think, you know what, no one's played any reggae or any dancehall. Let me step up. When I go up, I'm going to give the reggae heads, the dancehall heads, something. I'm going to deal with them first. Or no one's played any hip hop, or no one's played any garage or drum, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I might think no one's played any of these other genres. Let me step up and do that. Or DJs who've played before me, they might all be on a kind of high energy. They all want to be shellers. That's one thing that happens nowadays. All the DJs want to be shellers. They all want to be the life of the party. They all want to, play the big tunes and get the players up and jumping and what have you. Now, if all of them are playing like that, then sometimes it requires someone to play a little bit differently and play the tunes that are not all about high energy. Or sometimes it's required. Sometimes there's a requirement to bring the energy down a little bit and give people a little bit of a breather, even. Do you know what I mean? Or just give people some of those tunes that are not high energy but are really good tunes nonetheless. Maybe some of the sing-along tunes that are not about jumping up and dancing, but they're about singing your heart out. So these are kind of things that will inform how I go to step up when it's my time to play. But in order to do that and have that knowledge, I need to get there early enough to see it. I can't have that awareness if I turn up 5-10 minutes before I'm about to step up and play. So it's important that I get there early so I can witness all of this, and then I can respond accordingly when it's my time to step up and play. One of my friends, Dave Knight, he calls this when I do. Before I get into that, let me also just say the only time I can't step up early or get there early is if I'm coming from another gig. If I've got multiple gigs in a night and I'm going from one to the other, sometimes it's literally not possible for me to get there early because I'm literally coming from one gig to another. But generally, as a rule, I like to get there as early as I can to witness what's going on with the DJs before me and not play over their tunes. As part of that process, once I've been witnessing what's happening on the line, I like to go and sit somewhere, find myself a little quiet space to sit with my laptop, my DJ laptop and my headphones, and then start cooking up a little something, a little set or tunes that I want to play when it's my time to step up. In normally like in about half an hour's time or 45 minutes time or something like that, I'll like to go and find a little space and sit down with my laptop and start drawing out some tunes that I think I'm going to want to play when it's my time to get up and do my thing. My friend Dave Knight, he calls this napalm settings. He says this is when I go in and start mixing and concocting napalm to then go and drop on the people then. And sometimes it is that. Sometimes it is I am crafting a set to literally just go and drop in people's heads and just blow the place up, so to speak. But sometimes it's the exact opposite. Like I said before, sometimes it requires a different approach. Sometimes it requires me to bring the energy down for a reason. One of the times when it's good to bring the energy down, if people have had too much to drink and a fight's broken out or something like that because people are getting too excited, bring the energy down. That's a great time to bring the energy down. Wonderful time to bring the energy down. Or like I said, if the night requires a genre shift because certain genres have been neglected, then that's another reason to, yes, let me go and concoct something now and deal with something just for the reggae heads and deal with them neatly, or just for the hip hop heads and deal with them neatly. Do you know what I mean? So I like to find a little quiet space with my laptop and my headphones on. So normally I have one headphone on my ear and the other one will be off, still paying attention and listening to what's being played because I don't want to play over tunes, and I'll start putting something together for when I go up and play. So that's my approach generally when I'm playing alongside other DJs. I also find it's good to go to those kind of situations with a mindset of openness and sharing with your music. Quite often other DJs will play something like, yo, who's that or what's that, or I'll go and look. And I'm quite fortunate and blessed that in my DJ ecosphere, if one of my DJ friends plays a tune and I'm like, wow, that's a bit, where is that? Or who is that? The usual response is, I'll send you that. No problem. I'll send it to you. Or they'll at least give me the name of the artist or group and the track title so I can go off and get it myself. And vice versa. If they ask me about a tune, same response. Yeah, I'll send you that. No problem. Or I'll at least give them an ID check on the tune. There's only one DJ in my ecosphere who doesn't do this, and as a result then they're no longer really in my circle, I guess. But it's good to approach events with that mindset, because then we're all sharing and we're all supporting and building each other. Steel sharpens steel, as they say, or one hand washes the other. Do you know what I mean? You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, all of that. So it's good to approach these with a mindset of openness so that we're sharing and building each other, not being all kind of like, no, it's me, mine. So that's my approach. Some tips and advice to new and up and coming DJs. Number one, practice. Hone your craft, all right? For as long as you need to, practice. That's the number one thing I can advise you to do. The more time you put in is the more benefits you will reap in terms of your DJ ability, your DJ enjoyment, and maybe even your career and income if that's a road that you want to go with this DJing thing. All right. But whichever way, practicing more will definitely bring you great rewards when it comes to your DJing. So the first thing is practice, hone your craft. I remember when I was probably at my most creative was when I was a lot younger and didn't have the responsibilities that I now have in my adult life, and was young and carefree, but I could practice like multiple times a day. When I was younger, I used to practice about 3 to 4 times a day on my decks, and that was probably when I was at my most creative because I was putting all of those hours in. So practice, hone your craft. The other thing is to trust your ears. And I say that because in this modern technological era, people are becoming more and more dependent on technology. People are becoming more and more dependent on software, and what the software can do for you, and how the software and the hardware as well can make it easier for you to be able to DJ or mix. Now, I have nothing against this. I am a techie. I'm kind of geeky like that. And I like to make sure that I'm staying up to the time when it comes to the technology as well. However, I believe, or my approach is that the technology should be there to assist you. You should not be dependent upon the technology. You should not be dependent on the software, so to speak. Say, for example, on Serato DJ, which is the most popular DJing software that is out there today, you will have waveforms and you can match up the beat grids, and you have things like there's something called sync, which allows you to mix the tunes very easily. I've never used this. I have a personal thing against using sync, so I've never actually used it for myself. But I know that this thing exists, that it helps people to clean up their mixes and mix cleanly and mix neatly. I don't believe people should be dependent on those things. They should assist you, but don't be dependent on them. So when I give DJ lessons, and I've been giving more and more DJ lessons of late because people have been asking me for them, one of the things that I always do when I'm giving a DJ lesson, especially using the laptop, is I will switch off the screen. In fact, sometimes I will start off by getting people to mix with actual vinyl. So there is no laptop, there's no digital thing at all. You're going to mix old school with records. And also another thing that I like to do quite often is to switch off the laptop screen completely when someone's learning how to mix, so that they are forced to learn how to mix using their ears only. And I strongly advise you to trust your ears. That's why I say trust your ears first. If you want to use the things on screen and all those other bits to help you as well, fine, no problem with that. Just don't rely on them. Sometimes those things can actually be wrong and they can lead you astray. You have the things called BPMs, which is beats per minute, which is basically measuring the tempo of every track. And some people can rely on that. Oh, this track is 100 BPM and that one's 100 BPM, so they should mix together neatly. Sometimes those numbers or those stats are wrong and they can lead you astray. Sometimes the wave patterns might be a bit out because the BPM's out. So don't rely on the technology, all right? Use it, by all means, use it. It's there to be used, it's there to assist you. Don't rely on it though. Trust your ears first. Learn how to mix with your ears. If that's how you want to play, learn how to do it with your ears first. Trust your ears first and let the technology and the software and the hardware assist, all right? But don't be dependent on it. The other thing is use these and pay attention to the crowd and what's going on in front of you. Quite often people ask me what I think is the most important aspect or element or tool of a DJ or being a DJ. Is it the amount of music that you have? Is it your music knowledge? Is it your ability to mix or to scratch or stuff like this? And I always say it's none of those things. For me personally, the most important element is this. It's your eyes, which is paying attention to what's happening in front of you. What's happening with the crowd in front of you. Not doing this, having your head down in your DJ equipment, your controller or your decks, or just in your laptop screen and not paying attention to what's happening with the crowd. We do not need any more DJs like that do that, all right? Unless they're playing a particular type of set that is just about their own personal expression and not about entertaining or, catering to a party type environment or that kind of situation. If it's literally just about them expressing themselves in some kind of way, then maybe they can do that. But if you're trying to rock a party or entertain a crowd or something like that, then have your head up, keep looking up and keep paying attention to how your audience in front of you is responding to what you're doing and respond accordingly. All right. So pay attention to the crowd and what's going on in front of you. The other thing kind of related to that is, even if you've come to a set prepared, got a gig, you're going to play an event, celebration, party or something, and you've prepared a set in advance. You've put that time and preparation in, and you come to the venue or the party or the celebration, the wedding or the birthday or the funeral, or whatever it is, and you're going to drop this set. Maybe not so much a wedding or a funeral or private party, because that is, you're catering to what you've been asked to play. But say more of a public function, and you come with this set that's been prepared in advance. Don't be afraid to throw it away if it's not working. All right. I've had situations like that where I've gone to DJ a gig and I've prepared a set like meticulously in advance, and I've prepared a good set. This is a solid set. This is a dope set, only to get to the place and start playing it and find this is not working for these people. These people in front of me, this is not working for them. And I've literally just had to throw the whole set out the window and just work off the fly. Now, obviously, if you have enough music and enough knowledge of your music, you can do that. But don't be afraid to do that. I wouldn't advise you just plod along in that situation and just keep going down a road that you can see is not working. Respond accordingly. Don't be afraid to throw it away and pivot. Go down a different lane and keep going down different lanes until you find what works for the crowd that's in front of you. All right. So don't be afraid to do that. And also be patient when you do that. It's not necessarily the next tune that you throw on is going to get everybody up or get the reaction that you're looking for. It might take you a while. It might take you half an hour. It might take you 45 minutes, or it might take you an hour, whatever it is. It might take you a while of exploring different musical avenues and lanes before you find what this crowd in front of you is all about. And then you've got it, and then you're off. Do you know what I mean? So be patient and don't be afraid to pivot, and if that means throwing out a whole set that you've prepared in advance, so be it. Don't be afraid to do that, pivot, and be patient with it until you find what you're looking for. The last thing is two more things. Sorry, not the last thing. One is to come prepared for any events that you are booked to play or are going to do. And by that, I mean, don't come to an event expecting to use someone else's laptop stand or someone else's charger or someone else's lead or this or that or what have you. Come with your own things. All right. Unless you've arranged in advance to use people's stuff, come with your own things. Come prepared. All right. When I show up for events, I'll probably do another video where I show what I take with me in my DJ bag or my DJ case. I have lots of different leads and adapters and spare this and spare that, because I like to come prepared for every and any eventuality, or at least as much as I can. Remember, there's always those unknown variables, those things beyond your control that can go wrong with any event. And if it does happen, everyone's going to be looking at you. So I like to come as prepared as possible, and I advise you to do the same. Don't rely on other people for their tech or their hardware or their whatever. If you can walk with your own, walk with your own. That's especially with your leads and your headphones. Always make sure you have your own headphones and the leads that you need, and your charger if you need one for a laptop or something like that. If you have a USB, carry your USB and have a spare as well in case something happens to your main one. Come prepared, all right? And don't rely on others for stuff. And the last one is enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Music is one of the greatest things in existence. And for me personally, there's nothing that brings me greater joy than playing music. And I feel very blessed that I can have a livelihood from doing the thing that I enjoy doing more than anything else on the earth. And I enjoy live streaming as well, but I enjoy playing music probably the most. And so I say to you, enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. If you get to a place where you say, let me go and practice for 10 minutes, let me just give it 10 minutes and then, I'm going to go to bed or whatever it is. And then you look and the sun's coming up, or you find that you've been playing for 4 hours and you're like, how did that happen? Where did that time go? Then you're in the pocket. Then you're enjoying it. All right. That's a good place to be in. So enjoy it. All right. those are my tips, and that's how I approach my DJ gigs. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments section of the video, and also please like, subscribe, and share. Somebody might need to see this, or this might help somebody on their journey as well. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, stay blessed. Peace.